I am here to bring you Kino versus Maxwinenweed. I am just, like I say, just going to quickly sort out my go. And there we are. Party is loading up. The boys on the way. Kino is here. Where be Kino? Just loading in. We'll just be giving it a quick share around momentarily. There is our man Kino. Let's pop on and spectate. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-boo, ba-da-ba-doo. Spectate. Right, just get this shared around, then I can be fully good to go and invested in said 1v1. But as I said, this is Kino versus Maxwinenweed. Track choices I will run through momentarily. But we see Kino stood on the bridge near Leicester's factory. Hello, Stream Elements. Hope you're doing very well, lad. No banning people today. I still need to look into that, get that sorted out. Keeps handing out willy-nilly mutes. It's only 300 seconds, but I'm not keen on it, and there's no way for me to override it at the moment. I guess with me not streaming from my PC, I can turn it off. I am not sure. Maybe I can just turn the bot off anyway. Yeah, possibly. We'll look into that for the next PC stream. But let's type out my Kino. Pop that. That there. Start to sharing. But yeah, I do hope that everybody is doing very well. It's a little bit earlier than normal. I know Max is very interested in trying to catch the Champions League, and at 9 PM we have Unholy versus Nacho. That should also be a tasty affair. No, Unholy, a touch nervous, but he is a good young racer. But we all know Nacho can occasionally, or often, be a bit of an insurmountable challenge, even to those at the top. So I can understand the nerves. There's all that shared. I'm all good to go, I think. And there we go. The lads know that we are fully on the ball today. Look at this. I've had a good night's sleep. And I properly cracked on. Hello, I'm very good. Who are you? I'm doing very well, thank you very much, Tunsa. Hello, Crayon, and my man, Prestige. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. Let me have a quick glance at the tracks. So, we have, as I'm not sure if it is, well, I doubt it is the running order, but from Max, we have City Air, Zebra, Big Drop, and Liftoff. From Kino, we have East Coast, Wall Climb, Green Machine, and Rally. Interesting track choices. We have 4. 4 point to points. Coast. Kingdom. Super. Big drop. Lift off. Oh, Max's. I can just keep a bit of an eye on it. Make sure what we've had come up is ticked off. Whew, and I am now fully in and invested. Sapnin Azzy, and I learn English. I think I speak very good England, right? Yes! Perfect. And like, honestly, I do believe it's better than some English. Yeah, he did. I heard that the result, as much as it didn't go in your favour last night, you did put in a very good display, and he thought it was actually a lot closer than the result came across. He showed you, yeah, when it, as much as it did go 5-2, he felt that it was a lot closer than it actually came across in the result. And that you just really need to keep your head up if you want to get into the stunts, just a bit more practice and time, because you are very quick on the streets and that, Dodge. It's just a bit of patience, learning the cuts. We are going to flick onto Kino just as Max's back end kicks out. Yeah, and apologies that I couldn't do it last night, Dad. It was just a little bit too late in the end for me. Me and Big Boys had spoke about it. He was going to try and arrange it for tonight at 11, which would have given me like enough time to do it, but I don't think Joker's available. I ended up in bed about 20 minutes, half hour after you headed off out the party. Lovely clean line round the hairpin from Kino. You see that cadence steering coming into effect. Tippity tap, just pulling the car around nice and smooth. You could see the car trying to lift off the ground there, but he feathered the throttle just before the crest of that little crest of a hill. Gets himself over the jump nice and clean. No drama from Kino so far. Nice and tidy. In to the wall ride, pulls up for the checkpoint, just slightly out of the wall ride, a little bit of a, it tried to just kick him out. But he did correct that in the air really well, got the car spun back round and down the hill through the stop strips, really good and clean. Running a little wide through the bushes, but again feathering the throttle. Really good and clean, missing both the spinner props. Yeah, and Dad, as you get used to the pressure, his Joker is very experienced. He is a very quick lad himself. He, if anything, like I said to Big Boys, he's sometimes just a bit underconfident, undersells himself. Like, we can't all be at the very top, but that does not actually diminish the level that we've attained. Like, it's very, very hard. It's a very big jump in skill levels as well sometimes to the likes of your Jacks, Kinos, Nachos, Zombies. They are the top dogs, the officials, bloody Venturas, fucking See My Builds, Mobbins, Assans back in the day. It's all there. They're all top drivers, and they are the very top percentile. All of us in that bracket below are all incredibly talented too. It's just they are the trend and pace setters. A little bit wonky from Max as he comes through the dirt section. Comes on through, bashing at the barrier, riding on through nicely. We see Kino did wait a bit, a few seconds wait, so we're probably looking at maybe the 2:16. Hey, come on, Azzy. You know that you are exceptionally close to that top bracket. A little bit more consistency, a little bit a touch more speed, like on your day, and that you can give them all a run for the money. I saw you racing against Jack last night. In the playlist, he kept saying, where are the speed boosts coming from? But yep. I raced with an OG when I first got my PlayStation for 6 months. Very nice. We are in to Plummet 2. This is Max's first pick. I'm gonna focus in on this race from the beginning, and I'll chat with you guys between the races a little bit more, and then focusing on the races, so it's got that nice little commentary aside to it. Got Kino just behind Max. It's a lovely, like, pastel metallic purple on Max's car. Kino over to this left side, chasing them brake boosts nice and early, just closing the gap ever so slightly on Max, and taking the straighter line down the track does allow him to pull into the lead through that tiny little kink in the track. Max just falling behind, touch, playing a little bit safe with the curbs here and there, nice and aggressive. All four wheels across the curb though, just slightly adjust the line with a bit of feathering of the throttle. Max is still pushing nice and hard over the curbs. You can see that extra little squiggle, but just pushed a touch too hard into the barrier. We see Kino coming across the curbs, chasing them brake boosts, knowing to sustain pace in the winners bracket, you're going to need to get them consistently. Coming on through over the curbs again, the engine note not quite having burst into full life yet. Seems slightly dulled to me. There we go. Oh, feathers under the bridge though, barely clips it. It does fling him back down to the track, a little squiggle as he lands, and over the curbs, nice and smooth as he gets back up to speed. The engine note fully back into action, comes through again. It's looking clean from Kino. Up the ramp, over the jump, making it past that halfway point on the blue. Let's have a little look, see where Max is. He's in the air behind Kino. We are going to have a little flick back. We can see Kino in the distance. That engine note, little bit electric. There we go, pumps back in with that curb boost. Lovely stuff. Max just behind Kino. Kino in the air ahead at the crest of the jump. Hello, my man Joker. Hope you're doing very well, fella. It is nice to see you getting back onto the scene a little bit more regularly. Heard about the 1v1 last night, and again, as I did say to Dad earlier in the stream, apologies for not being able to commentate it last night. It was just a touch late for myself. I had been discussing it, and if it had been within my time frame, I would have been well up for doing it. Me and Big Boys had chatted about it earlier. But Max about to come over the jump. Kino has had to respawn I was about to say it looks good. He was just ahead still. Max waiting up. I'm not 100% sure what happened there. Maybe he missed the ramp skip. Maybe went underneath. But couldn't see his dot ahead. I assumed he was sat in or just beyond the checkpoint. But has seen it come back to 1-1. There should be a playlist tonight, not 100% sure on the time. It might be during my the commentary 1v1 I've got at about 9 o'clock. But otherwise it will be a touch earlier, maybe 8 PM or so. But yeah, there'll be a playlist. Me and Jack were discussing that again last night. We are gonna make sure that there's something on every day. Dad, and then I met a guy called Sterling X. Yeah, I've seen his name on the leaderboards, and he taught me all of the extreme lines for land races. Said my hello to Joker. I'm doing very well, thank you, my man. And like I say, it is good to see you getting involved in your racing again. We are into liftoff. This is the second of Max's picks. And hello, Jake Darby, my man. I'm sorry, dude. I just glanced away. And Scar, good stuff on the playlist. Nice, hello, nice. Scar as well. What would you feel about, like, why don't you, like, we'll have a chat, like, because you could maybe host a playlist at some point, a TikTok Tuesday or Thursday. Max gets some really good speed down that straight, must have been really aggressive on the curves, maybe a missed brake boost from Kino. Looks like Max undercutting the jump ever so slightly more, gets down to the track just a touch earlier, but Kino got really good landing boost and over the curbs, nice and aggressively again from Max, just swings him back into the lead. You can see that extra little wiggle giving the Krieger that touch more boost. Comes across to the left, has to pull back hard and swings back to the right to make sure he's on the track good and clean. It was a nice line there from Max, a little bit too aggressively into the jump, did have to realign himself, nice, but handled that all very well. Good across the curbs again, sees him pull level, but Kino gets good boost off that little barrier smash and comes on through. Well, we're potentially looking for more hosts, Dad, because like me and Jack can't host stuff all the time, like we have stuff come up. We are looking for more and more, and hello, Amarantine, I think I got that one right. Thank you for popping by. But yeah, I was on this occasion just offering it to Scar, but Dad, it is open to anybody. We have asked about it in the chats before that we are looking for, and I've mentioned it quite a few times on Discord and in the stream. Hey Dennis, this is Evening Falls with a new name. Kino really nice and smooth through the tube line. We are gonna pop back to Max. It's me, Dennis. Took a little while, but Max out of the tube, nice and smooth. You can see Kino already heading down that straight to the left. Little tap of the horn on the entrance into the corner. A little hello to the viewers. Hello yourself, Max. And you can see, like, this is what we're saying, is like, this is what I mean, is like, you can see from the start that Max has the ability to hit the high speeds, to get to and hold and get to the lead, push Kino in the beginning, but then that little higher level of consistency allows Kino to just pull away with the great track knowledge and knowledge of the car. Nice ramp skip though, lovely flair from Max with the double barrel roll. And that here, on this occasion, has brought it back to 2-1 in Kino's favour. And we are heading into the fourth race. I did, Dennis. That was about me. I was not happy. He called me a glitcher. I only did it because he did it on double loop. He just didn't like it because my time was a second quicker. But oh well. It shows the difference. Like, I'm happy to race with all of you guys that beat me every day and not look like I'm winning everything, but it's not the same for everybody. Oh yeah, he kicked me. I wouldn't consider myself, well, like I'm good, but comparatively, do you know what I mean? It's like Tyrese was in the lobby too, he got kicked yesterday. He's kicked many other good racers, I know that. But it was when Jack went into his stream and said, yeah, I'm not racing with them, the glitchy racers, and I was like, hold on a second. Lovely over the curbs. Again, you can see Max really pushing nicely down that right side of the track. Kino was on the left. Good boost from both. Kino just ahead, just inching away. Hey, Georgie boy. Nice jump from Max, just pips him into the lead. Kino tight to exit, getting the car nicely lined up across the curbs with Max. Good acceleration down the straight, heavy onto the brakes, swinging round the corner. Max though, really close to that gap in the barrier. Tight as a tiger with the risk there, but it pays off and he's not lost too much time. Just behind Kino as we flick back, a little tap of the horn on the entrance to the corner. Clips two wheels over the curb, really nice and tidy, just getting a little bit of tilt on the car to correct it in the air, pull the car back round, getting the car landing nicely, but Kino on this occasion did just appear to get that little bit of the boost. Lines up for the gap, really nice, the car's all straightened up, no chance of getting caught on it. There's that nasty gap in the barrier there that Max wisely chooses to avoid. Nice cut of the ramp from both, nice and high up on the banked curve. You can see Kino has undercut that. He's gone a little bit too high on the tube line and pulled down just a touch too sharply. That does see Max pull away into the lead. And you can see he really wasn't too far away. Hello, Barbax, my dude, I hope you're doing fantastically well. And I am looking forward to the finals. Have been keeping my eye a little bit on the French World Championship going on. That is hosted on Barbax's channels on Saturday afternoons, or has been. And he is planning on running a Stunt World Championship after the close of his tournament some point after that. So do please keep your eyes open for that over the coming months. That will be a tournament hosted by Barbax. I will be looking again to commentate it. It will be all lobbies, I believe, rather than these 1v1 situations, so a little bit different. Kino is straightened up behind, coming over the jump, not quite. Have a little look behind, keep our eye on it as long as we can. See Max with a strong lead pulling down, just straightening up. Oh no! The wobble on the car after that first boost, it's pulled Kino just into the lead. And that boost just bucked the car up for Max, sending it all squiggly up at the ramp as Kino hits the barrier, but the gap should, I believe, be big enough, although the car's engine revs taking a little while to build up. The boost will help, and the downward trajectory of the car does allow him to maintain the lead. Kino, though, has gone to the left. Oh, he has managed to pull round into the checkpoint. A little bit of a messy race, but boy, did that make it tight and exciting. A couple of mistakes from both of the boys. Just a slightly wrong line onto that first boost. Kino just ever so slightly overcooking that cut out of the tube up to the higher platform. That has seen it go to 3-1 in Kino's favour. Yep, I have come across Bong Addicted. There's also a dude called Shocky Dog. Yeah, he's very similar. Yeah, I'm not surprised he kicked you out. Yeah, all you need is a faster lap time. And he'll get you out of that lobby and call you a cheater, I guess. Oh, Alex is hungry. What you having for supper or lunch? Yeah, it's only 12 o'clock. What are you having for lunch, Alex? As we are into Green Machine. Pop, 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 pop. Nice across the curbs. Kino just ever so slightly extending the lead. Slightly tighter entry, but a better exit from Kino allows him to hold the lead. Hey, Ventura, my dude, Max. Really unlucky. Just seemed to lose a touch of the traction as the car wouldn't pull away from that tube. Into the tube, nice and smooth. Nice. Alex is having some fat chicken for lunch. Nice and smooth, back over the curbs. Gets two wheels across before the entry into this S-bend. It's good, clean lines here from Kino. Nice over the curbs. This is that one though. Clips this one nice and clean. Brushed gold. Kino's car just glinting in the sun on his SE8. I don't know. D8. The best. Comes through the loop line. You can see him pulling a little bit over to the left and then pulls sharply back down for that downward slope. Pulls sharply back to the left just to make sure he's going straight down, gaining maximum speed. Pulls through, doesn't miss the boost. You see him pull across just a little bit late for it, but got himself nicely across the curbs, over the jump, really nice. Click this little corner of curb, as he lines up. That's a nice line up and over. He is getting onto that banked platform, nice and cleanly. Into the tube, up the left wall and back, up, round and down the right. Two of the loops. Third, making sure he misses that blue wall cleanly. Looked like there was a slight bricking there and a slight dimming of the revs, but he handled it really nicely and comes through. Over the curbs at that exit of the corner. Nice, just building up the revs into the tube, nice and smooth. High line at the beginning, stays on that line for just a while longer. Once thick boost line pulls up and around. On this first lap we saw a 2:34.592 from Kino, the 2:41 with the mistake, unfortunately with the tube collision. 2:41.368 from Max. I'm sure we will see that be improved upon by both. Kino will be looking to bring that time down a bit too and apply just a touch more pressure. The back end again just looked like it wanted to get out of shape. It corrected that really nice. We did see that from Kryptonite against its Tyrese yesterday in their little practice 1v1. Clipping that tube just a touch with the back tyre. Just dipped in the air ever so slightly as we lost the traction. Again, it's nice and clean from Kino, not as aggressive as we have seen in the past. But just good, clean lines, just not wanting to disturb the boost. Well, for anybody that did miss last night's action, we did see Biz progress through past Zombie 6-2, so that Biz progresses through into the next round of the winners bracket. Zombie has fallen into the third round, I believe it is, of the losers. So now we have the light of Nacho and Zombie down there. There's also Madrid, it's Tyrese, Heredia, getting dangerous all across the bracket. As now we see some really good racers, and we already had falling in due to the competition they were up against. We've got the 2:30.584, just applying a couple of extra seconds pressure to the 2:32.303 from Max. Both really nice times. I'm, like I say, stuck at a 33 in general on average. I think my lowest is a 31, but that is a very inconsistent lap and hasn't been achieved for quite some time, with me now racing more and more on PC. Lovely clean lines from Kino again. We are going to pop back to Max though. Have spent 2 laps there with Kino. Nice smooth lines. You can just see Kino's name coming through that snaky-ish bend just here as the track pieces almost meet. Nice across the curbs. Building them engine revs up really nice and consistently. Over the jump, tilting the car aggressively to try and extend that jump out just a touch more. Up onto the tube wall, nice and clean. Through the loop. Seems to do very little steering input, just letting the car drift. There we go, pulling and snapping back to the left. Lining the car up, letting it drift across to the edge of the loop and pulling sharply back to that vertical piece. It's a nice clean loop from Max. Bit aggressive off the barrier, causes 2 wheels to come up. Little tap of the horn as he shifts into position for the right. Oh, that's an aggressive line. Is aggressive indeed. He gets up, the car ever so slightly hung up, but that was lovely. A millimetre or 2 safer and that would have been pristine. He'd have got really good revs and acceleration off of that. Just ever so, like I say, just minutely hung the car up with one of the back tyres being over the back end of the track. That, like I say, looked like a really nice line. Kino looks like just fed the throttle slightly, just making sure on that time able to cross the line. 2:29.516 from Kino. And again, phenomenal times coming across. Kino has taken it to 4-1. All the work is now in Max's hands, but as I do say sometimes, when the scores come across like this, the 2:31.547 is a really good time from Max. Honestly, it would be a lot of people in these situations. He's learning how to handle the pressure better and better. And coming up against an opponent of Kino's quality is no easy task for anyone. So I do just want to point out that as much as it is 4-1 at the moment, I'd say it's more of just a slight reflection of the slight difference in skill level rather than Max not being a very good racer in his own right. You know, just able to exert that pressure, put a little bit of extra pace down through the corners. But that mainly comes through experience. And you can see Max building the revs up in such a way that he does gain a good advantage initially, but Kino just slightly more aggressive after the exit, pulls away down the straight, which will have given him nice high revs and allowing him to just pull away a couple of extra millimetres per clip of the curve. But Max, a lovely corner, really shortening the gap up. You can see the high revs at the top of the hill really paying dividends and continuing to shorten that gap. Nice tube line from both. Max attempting to follow as crisp and cleanly as possible. A little high on that tube transition, but he gets through it really clean. Down and round and back up the right side wall and over and down the left. Hello Nacho, my dude. I'm looking forward to seeing you in just under 4 hours time, fella. Hope you're looking forward to that. Yourself versus Unholy. Ooh, disconnect from the tube on Max's car there. His loop line just a little bit too slow, losing some of that traction. Yeah, as I have said, we do have the Nacho versus Unholy at 9 PM UK. That is in 3 hours 45 minutes. Over the curbs, nice and clean. See the way you just smoothly line that up, no chance of getting hung up in the barrier. Lovely smooth line through the loop this time, got the speed of it perfect. There was no disconnect of the tyres downforce, keeping him patched nicely. Over the curbs again, you can see Kino just ahead, heading through the corner already. Lovely through the corner from Max. Over the curbs, nice and smooth. 2:17.826 first lap. And Kino 2:21.476. Lovely smooth line to get himself lovely and aggressive on them curbs. After the entrance, you can see Max trying to just get used to the pressure. A lovely feathering of the throttle round the corner again. Gets him around that nice and clean. That tippity tap steering, pulling the car round, getting it lined up for each portion. You know, having just headed through the loop in the tube. Max comes through, skip behind him, it's good and clean. The lap times still clearly same as they were, don't quite know why I brought that up. Lovely tube exit, a little extra clip, creating that curb boosting effect. Goes in for the ramp skip, it's nice and clean from Max, that was perfect. The back left wheel just kissing down after the track came to meet him, pulling the right side of the car down the track wonderfully well, no need to correct it, nothing to limit speed gain. Really, really nice cut. Will shorten his time down nicely, and I believe it did shorten the gap slightly. Lovely, avoids the barrier sharply, pulling to the right, feather of the throttle as he pulls back aggressively while he's on the wood, not wanting the car to kick out. Nice control of the car, over the curbs again, nice and smooth, got all four wheels across, pulls into the tube, nice line, pulling through, lining it up, getting down to that middle line on the ground piece of the tube, through, lovely. Exits, braking point was good too, pulls himself round the corner at really nice speed, just brushing that barrier, gets himself a little extra 2 wheels of curb, and high revs as he comes through the corner. 214.868 from Kino to the 216.633 from Max. We are going to head over to Kino to spend a lap with him. Now, while we are here, Ventura did just upload a 2:11 on wall climb. I believe that is his new, or the new video PB. So please head over, check out Ventura's channel. Also, a couple of the other guys also have some fantastic videos out. Nacho recently got a couple of world records at Redia, getting really close on tracks like In the City and Racing Alley. Please do check them out. Coming through really good and clean over the curb. Sounded like he went for the brake boost. I didn't see. Oh, the curb! Just kicking Kino into the barrier. That will be shortening the gap. Let's see how the land lies. I believe Max would have just come over the ramp skip. Entering the tube himself, Kino already into it. Be back up to speed because of the boost pads and the boosts are through the tube. Hey, I'm doing very well, thank you very much, Official. Hope you're doing well yourself. Over the curbs, nice and clean. Clipping, really nice. Lovely stuff. Kino has managed to sustain the lead and hold off after a mistake on this lap. Just that slightly higher speed he's been able to maintain throughout the previous 2 laps, enough to build up the lead. See Kino swinging through the sharp left ahead. Comes through, over, bumped against the barrier a little bit aggressively there. But that is Kino with a 5-1 lead. That does confirm Kino's place going forward in the competition. Let me start filling out my bracket information and continue doing it as the match is complete. Where is this lead? Just here. So that will be seeing Kino against Luke or Joe Tracy. Maxwinenweed will be facing off against Footstain or Azzy Boy in the losers bracket. And as I keep repeating, this losers bracket It is basically just your second life, and the final is the actual final. If you get to the final from this point, all you have to do is beat the person who made it through without losing their life twice. Congrats, Kino, GG's, Max. And as I did suspect, we will be seeing the completion of the playlist. We have 2 tracks remaining. And there we go. Alex does actually have the 2 laps for both of those tracks that I mentioned as well. And I know he does have the videos up for them. We do also, as I have just said hello to official, do have H200 world record holder Maxwinenweed. Very unlucky, just a little bit too aggressive with that entrance into the tube. So do head over, check out official's channel. And there is also Daj, I know he uploads. We've got Scar, our TikTok star, as he's been uploading a lot of PBs as well recently. Tunter, I'm not sure you've been uploading so much recently, but has done it in the past. And may get back on it. Kino, a lovely clean exit from that wall ride, gives himself some good speed. Enters the tube, looks nice and high, just below that middle line. Through nice and clean, lines up for the ramp, skips the car a little bit out of shape, but it gets a touch lucky. The back end managed to just pull round the completion of its barrel roll, then pull the front of the car back down to the track, just riding his luck just minutely. But you have to push the luck to get the luck. To get the luck, you need to be able to have the confidence, the skill to get the line into order. You hear the feather in the throttle at the crest of the jump, heading in for the wall ride, nice and smooth. He knows he's got the victory for this playlist, so he can play around just a touch. We are going to head back to Max for about a lap, 3/4 of a lap. See Max do one, then we'll watch Kino on his final. Nicely into the tube line, lines it up between the 2 orange walls, gets the line really nice, kissing that back left wheel down onto that tube wall nice and clean, and starts accelerating away on landing. Lovely braking point into the corner, no slide on the exit. Kino has got a good lead. He's already into the tube, heading down and round through towards the loop. Nice and clean over the curbs again, clipping nice and aggressively before the loop. Over the jump, take good distance, landing on that nice light grey piece track. Clipping nice aggressive curbs on the corner, sort of looking cut out, very aggressive over the curbs there too, and he's taken a lot of airtime. He's going to go heavy on the brakes, but unfortunately not quite enough. At this point we will flip to Kino, see how he's coming on. Good line into the tube again, just below that middle left line on the wall. Heads in for the ramp, skip the car, flips over the curb, and again rides his luck just a little bit as he gets an extra barrel roll off the curb and skips the ramp. Spoiler just catching. That will allow the gap to shorten up a touch again. Kino heads in for the wall ride, not letting these little moments get to him. Still heads into it nice and clean, pulls out nice and smooth this time onto that right side curb, and allowing it to push the car back towards the track nicely as he pulls to the left slightly, gaining the traction. fast line over the jump, sticking to the middle of the tube through the air to give himself a max height on the jump. Oh, just but couldn't quite get the traction to pull in sharply enough for that wall ride at the high speed. Really nice attempt there from Kino though, flying 218 down to 212. Really aggressive over them curbs from Kino on this occasion. 225.3 does come down to a 212.447, just pinching that best lap from Kino at the moment. Kino's time just a touch devilish. Little bit of lag displaying on the loop there. It comes through the checkpoint nice and clean over the curbs. Again, it's nice. Just missing the barrier. The feather in the throttle pulls him nicely over the curb and lines up for the jump. Good air time, gets him down to the track early enough to get into the wall ride. It's a clean exit. The back right tyre again kissing down first and pulling the rest of the car smoothly down to the track. Just trying to gain extra bits of curb, a little bit higher into the tube. That back left and front left kissing onto that metal line this time. Into the loop, but it's a little bit thick. It's a touch of a thick. Yeah, no worries, my man Prestige. Always best to stick with the people that keep you at ease, I find. Nice exit from the wall ride. We are going to flick back to Max. The gap has shortened up. Max is on for a decent lap here too. Kino knows he needs to be good and clean to hold the lead, but with him having a strong enough lead to have seen him through to the winner's bracket round through already, knows that he can take the risks. Very aggressive line there, pulling sharply to the left over the jump. Did cause the spoiler to get caught up on the roof of the tube slightly. Loop line nice and clean. Pulls into the wall ride, just out of it slightly early. But really nice attempt at the high speed from Max there. It's so nice to see the racers giving it a go. Kino has crossed the line in first. It has extended it out. 6-2, 6-1, sorry. Again, as I say, like, this is no diminishing factor on Maxwinenweed. He gave Ciccolini a fantastic race. It went to 4-4 and then pulled it all out on the penalty shootout and took it to 7-4. So handled the pressure magnificently well in the previous round. Just on this occasion, Kino just a touch too much on this occasion. I know, as we all do, he will be looking to improve before the next tournament or before their next meeting, potentially further down the line if that potentially happens in this tournament. But it does not mean he is slow. Not by any stretch of the imagination. This is the final track and it is Max's final pick. This is Zebra. Very risky track choice. Some big cuts, very risky cuts that can gain you significant chunks of time. I believe the first cut saves 6-7 seconds, with the airtime being significantly reduced. Yep, the checkpoint is banned in the tournament, so on double loop you can do the loop skip, but don't get the checkpoint through the wall. But character switching can be used to save yourself, just not to go through a loop quicker, like to gain time. So if you're going off the track on, say, Raton out of that tube exit, you can save yourself there, but you can't use it to skip loops and gain significant portions of time that way. there we go. I was just putting it in text just in case as well, but Nacho's more than fine with that. Game, my man. But yeah, I was just putting that into the text as well, just in case. Pop, pop. Both the guys on the line. And, on its way, and they are away through the stop strips. Max did seem to get through a little bit quicker, but Kino, again, smooth landing. Kino swings into it really late. And he has exploded. Max now with a strong chance to pull away. Looked like Kino did catch that brake boost after the stop strips as he went over the crest of the hill, pulls in for it again. The car misbehaving, the barrel roll corrected wonderfully, and he's on track this time. That was really well corrected and handled by Kino. Over the curbs, nice and smooth now, good and aggressive, looking to rein Max back in. Max, though, has waited. Fantastic sportsmanship from Max, and he is back on the accelerator. Kino not wanting to take the lead like that, just feathers the throttle a little bit more, willing to have it be a race. Now into the tube. The mistake from Max allows Kino through and on, but great sportsmanship there from Max. Didn't want it to come down from that, and they both clip that ramp. Beautiful barrel roll from Ventura. Yeah, it was brought up, but no, there in this tournament, no checkpoint glitch. In the future is something I'm willing to potentially allow. I just wanted this one to be a bit cleaner, saves a little bit of explanation for the audience, allows me to break down the stuff like brake boosting and some of the other mechanics. And Kino, what the fuck? As Max does hold the lead, Kino into the tube on the left side, not going with the loop, pulling back to this right side, I'm guessing just below the metal line, adjust the car in the air, get himself onto the flat trap heap. Max is ahead, about to head over the dirt jump. Feathers the throttle nicely to get the traction needed to pull himself across that really well. Again, just adjusting the car. The slide is really trying to kick it out. And aggressive against the mountain. Oh, the log's going to help correct him. He has gone with the respawn to get the car nicely reset. It was probably actually quicker in that scenario. The car respawned really nice and quick. And Kino, Max must have made a mistake there just behind. Well, going through the tube, maybe a little bit too sharp on that exit. Kino now comes in for this tube. Now, it's all about collecting as much of the boost as you can, getting this line right, pulled down, and able to pull back down and to the left. It looks really good. Kino got that really nice and clean. There was no chance of coming into contact with either of them mountains, and that was a perfect example of how to do that cut nice and safe. There was no drama. It didn't look like he needed to do any risky input on the control to pull himself out of the tube, as I've assumed you need to get down nice and quick. But that was a lovely tube line into the cut from Kino. Max with the helicopter spin in the cut off and crossing the line. Now, I think Kino, with the weight from Max, he does want Max to take the win. Max would have had the lead had he not have waited at the beginning. Kino as well did appreciate it. But again, these racers do have, in general, a lot of respect for each other. And even when there is occasional slight beefs, as long as it's not too much, not rubbed each other up the wrong way, it never shows on the track in general, is what I've found. Maxwinenweed with the low. Honestly, Max, GG's dude is, like I have said in this, as much as it has gone 6-2 on this occasion, I don't think at the level of anybody in this competition, and even myself is included in that. None of us are bad at all. Like, occasionally some of the results look bad when we come up against a really top opponent, but dude, you're quick as balls, you'd smash me out the water, and I hope you do continue to improve, because you have got better, you've got faster, you've got more consistent. And as he is saying, congrats to Marco. That is Kino, and thanks Fox. Good luck for your next match. And Max, I will be on Sunday, because your next opponent as well will be decided by the end of the week. That will be either Fuckstain or Azzy Boy. And like I say, as much as it is called the losers bracket, it is just your second life bracket, basically. So we'll get that on the go, and that will take place over the next 2 weeks again. But thank you all very much for tuning in. Congratulations do go on this occasion to Kino. My commiserations are offered out to Max, and I will see you all at 9 PM. Thank you, and goodbye for now. Again, thank you. Goodbye.